Yeah. Oh, okay. So a last call for everyone. There are still way too many people out in the lobby requesting everyone to please come in and take your seats. Also, y'all can take in the seats ahead. Requesting everyone in the stall also to please come in and take your seats. We will be starting off right now. Okay, so firstly, a very good evening to everyone. My name is Rashmi. I'm the editor with the Commercial Design magazine. And this is the 25th edition of the Smart Office Summit, and it's been quite a journey for us. Uh, until this year, actually, we've started with just pure smart spaces of what technology's impact is on workspaces. But right now, this title has evolved to so much more. We are covering right up to circular economy, sustainability, not just concepts, but also budgets, timelines, the challenges that lie in these industries. So all of this. So I'm not going to take much time. And firstly, I'm also very sorry that we got delayed here. So I'm going to quickly call on stage Bibhor Srivastav, who is the managing director for events at ITP Media Group, to deliver the opening address. And by the time he comes, I would request to just take a quick glimpse into what ITP is all about.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, Delhi, are you there? All right. It's always great fun to be back with Staj, Amit, to see all our friends. You know, some or the other life has become very busy for all of us. Strangely but truly. we've all been drifted to our own, you know, work life so much that you tend to enjoy these breakaways. And for me, this is a big breakaway to come to Delhi. And I was just talking to Rashmi saying, what is that you feel Vibhor has changed? Because being a Delhi guy for longest time, I think Delhi's Rashmi completely transformed. You know, the skyline of Delhi, the beauty of Delhi, and the canopy in terms of landscape of Delhi has been very enamoring. We just stepped in from Mumbai, and it's, you know, you people know what's happening in Mumbai. It's so difficult, Sudeshna ji, to come out from Bombay. So for me, the moment I touched and I saw the sun, for me, I thought I really got my worth. So thank you again. I drifted and I went in a different tangent, but you have to bear with me. It's, what you saw in that 2.5 minute film was a journey which has come up after longest hard work of many people in the team. And today I can very proudly tell you ITP Media in India is one of a major force in a media house to reckon with. Not because we do multiple things, but I think at the heart of it is all honesty, integrity, sincerity, transparency, getting the industry together. And I think that is the biggest joy that one can to keep get like-minded people, get these great amazing brands to come who are actually giving the cutting edge solutions and services and products to all the wonderful designers, asset owner, consultants. And I was talking to Samdarsh and multiple speakers today. I think today is going to be an incredible day in terms of learning because I think it is a 25th edition. And if you look, just like the more the whiskey or the wine it ages, Amit, that it becomes better. So I believe we become better, and I think we are here for a great time. Uh, it's a dynamic time for Delhi's commercial real estate. In the first half of 2025, office leasing here surged by over 90% year on year. Flexible workspaces now account for nearly half of new deals, and Delhi is set to cross 10 million square feet in gross leasing this year, cementing its place among India's top office markets. The rise of global capability centers and next gen co working hubs is reshaping how we think about space productivity and flexibility. I think if you look at the whole spectrum of ITP, how we are positioned, we never went with the intention that we will do a publication and then go after it. What we went was the other way around. We went and started talking to the communities. Our first launch of the magazine had been Hotelier India and was talking some of the success stories very recently this evening about, on the 11th, 12th, and 13th, we housed in about 1,500, people. And a lot of people I see in the room have been a part of magnificent confluence that happened. We brought the world together of owners, consultants, MEP, lighting, architects, designers, international and world over. So I think today we are seeing, especially in commercial design as a magazine, has been a major pivot in terms of redefining the trends and challenges and opportunity that exist. And please give a hand to this young lady, Rashmi Naikar, very brilliant young editor. I can't hear you. No liking for you in Delhi? I'm sorry. And Niji Saoji, our group publishing director, Priyanka, and Tarun, and a whole bunch of our young team members have been really working hard on this. So I'm not going to take much of your time. But, for me, I always believe when we looked at the whole spectrum of the communities, we said it's time in life. About 10 years back, Rashmi, we thought we must bring a publication because a decade back, we saw that the commercial spaces will really surge in terms of growth. And I'm glad we have a publication in here in India. Also in Dubai, it is called CID, Commercial Interior Design. And a lot of my friends from GACS are also sitting here. And I'm also a proud advisory board member of the same. And for me, I think the learning and the unlearning both coexist. So I thank you very much to all our partners and everybody. And I think, like you, I'm also going to learn a lot this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bibor, for that beautiful opening address and actually putting in just what this evening holds for everyone here. Like he said, platforms like this is not possible without the support of the industry members. And one such is our presenting partner, that's Havels. And it's really great to have had their advice, their hand-holding through this entire journey, because it was genuinely a two-way street. We've got to learn so much of the industry from them and how tech is working in workspaces, how they as manufacturers are changing this game. So, with much further ado, I'm going to quickly call on stage Arup Chakrabarti, who is the product marketing head for professional lighting at Havels India, to just give us a quick glimpse into what Havels and its portfolio is all about. Arup, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Arup here.
Thank you. Uh, Good evening, everyone. It was pleasure to come back to this stage and share what is happening in lighting and what we as Havels are delivering to create smarter and intelligent workspaces. Uh, yeah, it was, I think, very heavy traffic and we could reach, and yes, we are delayed by some time. So quickly, I will take you through. It will work, right? So when we are talking about smart and intelligent building spaces, it is all about how we are, all the connected devices, starting from light and if we can include other services, how actually we can build them and make integrated in one dashboard and take all the informations, and finally we get a report out of it, which actually can bring us as information for the space. It is not about the data, raw data, because end of the day, each and every information which is coming from the space, for the space, is actually influential to take any business decisions. Yeah. So we are every day we hear about the smart, connected, intelligent buildings, but there is a shift journey which is happening and we are witnessing for any workspace. If we go back like 3 4 years before, we have seen how pandemic has changed the fundamental design scope of any building. As far as lighting or intelligent lighting system is concerned, it started from energy efficient solutions. It started from automation and optimizing other services. But how the building has transformed to an intelligent building is all about the predictability, the space optimization. So these are the informations are coming out from lighting devices, which are actually creating a larger impact in office space. By the way, I think you will all agree when we are talking about anything smart, we all use from our daily usage at our home to office. Lot of technical jargons are established in our mind. But what we foresee is for a business which is most important to deliver. Each and every businesses are different. So we are here to create the system, the solutions which is actually specifically required for any specific businesses. So it is not about uh, the selling a system which is available, but creating a system which actually creates an impact on any business or decisions. The system what we had launched and effectively is bringing the value, it's called Havels Dynamic. Uh, it is very important to understand that we bring the systems which is very easy to install, easy to commission, and finally it is scalable. What the present problem, what we see in today's industry is once a particular system is installed, it is very hard to implement in other areas. or it is not scalable, or it is not interoperable. So this system brings all the possibilities which actually helps the user or installer to make it much more smoother and smarter. What are the functionalities or benefits what we get? Starting, because it is a wireless system, a installer does not need to typically plan too much of electrical layouts. Which it brings is we can create human-centric lighting. We all know what actually it happens. It actually balances circadian rhythm. It changes its color temperature based on our schedule of operations. It does an advanced level of diagnostic and remote monitoring as well. And finally, we can have all the informations in the dashboard. And what we discussed in previous slides, we all get the integrated information as a report. So so this particular system is not only from lighting, but it is all about putting right sensors. It can also tackle or understanding about the space, about the humidity, about any other air qualities as well. So it goes really one or two step ahead of lighting. Also, we have another system which actually can bring other functions of the building uh, integrated to one dashboard. The system name is Crabtree, which what it does, you can see in the slides, starting from, it brings all the different uh, devices in one platform. It includes not only lighting, but also HVAC system as well, which brings the larger picture on integrated BMS dashboard. Uh, it, it happens through a DESI connection. Uh, it is not so complicated to implement or commission the system. And finally, any other third-party integration, like what I said, HVAC or any other components of building management system gets integrated in a single platform. An important benefit what a user or typical the problem what we face is if there is any failure of one device, typically multiple systems we have in our country, the complete lighting system goes for a toss. So we have ensured that there is no one single point failure. So what it brings is if there is any component is required for a maintenance, other system all works and lighting functionality works very well. So these are typically components or architecture. Just for your easy brief, we have the space which is seen, which is shown on the screen, and it is a choice of bringing the data. Like there are multiple users or businesses that do not want to create or establish those data on the cloud system because of multiple security system. So we have 3 layer of security system. Plus, this is not a mandatory to keep the data on the cloud. We can have those data on local premises in server, but the features is all the same. It starts from dimming to tunability to capture all the informations of the space, like space occupancy to heat to quality of air, so on and so forth, including HVAC. So finally, we have to understand the exact problem, what you as a designer need, what you as user actually establish the requirement from business perspective. Then accordingly, the functionalities, the features, the system is customizable and scalable. And the beauty of these systems is completely created and manufactured, designed by Havells India. And you can see it is very unique propositions from lighting perspective, the components, starting from the simple remote, as remote also we are manufacturing in India. So the dependency, the establishment, the manufacturing capability, the R&D capability, all are for India and in India. So as far as our organization is concerned, These are the numbers around, around 24 business category we cater to other than lighting. We have 18,000 crores of turnover, what we have achieved, all of your support. And we have the dealer network and the service network, because that is very critical for any project execution post sales. So thank you very much. So anything specific or anything more, you all can actually visit our stall, which is in the behind of our hall. So there we can actually see how the functionalities are working. We have tried to, because it is quite cumbersome to install as a whole system, but with a few luminaire, lighting luminaire, we have created that system. And the basic functionalities are actually you can play with the devices. So thank you so much. And I look forward to talk to you one-to-one post the event. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arup, for giving us a glimpse into how manufacturers too are walking hand in hand with the vision that architects, facility heads, project heads, each of this drive in their mind when they create and build workspaces. And just quickly to take us to a next session, we have Anand Mishra, who is the Senior Manager for Architectural Specifications from Dormakaba, India, who will run us through a quick portfolio glimpses of the brand to tell us how security and access solutions is turning heads in workspaces. So with that, I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Anand Mishra. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
Thank you. A very warm good evening to all the people present here. First of all, I would like to thank my company for giving me this opportunity to come and present in front of you. I would also like to thank the sponsors, the organizers, ITB Media. So, Dormakaba basically, as I already described, we have a merger between Dorma and Kaba, which happened around 10 years back. We will be celebrating 10 years now in this September. And the motto is, for every place that matters. So when we talk about any workplace or any building, what all we expect. But before that, let me give you a glimpse about the organization that is today. So we have a history of more than 160 years, spread in more than 130 countries and having more than 16,000 employees. Now, what is more interesting in this slide for you to see is the kind of money that we invest in R&D. So most of the products that we have delivered is manufactured in factories across the globe. And as you can see, we have more than 1,800 patents. So the chance is whatever products that you are using of ours is manufactured by us. Talking about Dormakaba India, which is in India since last 25 years. So in India, our headquarters is in Chennai, which is based out of a LEED rated building. Currently, it is a silver LEED rating, and we applied for a gold rating. And what is important about this building again is we have a lab which is accredited by NABL, and this is the first of its kind in our industry, in our sector. And from this office or from this location, we look after the business in the SAARC countries. Talking about the core of Dormakaba India, so we have different kind of teams, cross-functional teams, which look into the requirement of the customers, be it the architectural specification guys who interact with architects and designers. And most of these people are well qualified. They are either holding a certified Guy Ironmongery diploma degree or some other prestigious degrees. Along with that, they are ably supported by product management guys who are not only supporting them with product, but also in case of some customizations required. Then we have a full-fledged business development team catering to different industry segments, whether it is hospitality, whether it is office vertical, whether it is a transportation vertical. So we have teams catering to all the customer and consumer segments. We have project management. So once the project is on board, to manage that project, we have a particular project management team to make sure that the project is delivered on time. We have communication. So reach out to all the customer segments. We have marketing communication, which is the core today in terms of dealing the communication. And last but not the least, the service team. So in order to take care post sales, we have service teams across our length and breadth of the country, taking care of post sales service. Now, let me take you through trends, some of the modern trends which is emerging in the access control market today. So as you can see now, especially after COVID, the industry is shifting from touch to touchless. So there is more emphasis towards touchless access. There is merger of access and flow. Also, access is being more used as a service. There is a more emphasis on mobile and biometric authentication. So everybody is asking for a biometric, authentication, and access control is dependent on these parameters. From mechanical, we are shifting more towards electromechanical. So that is one of the major changes which has driven the market, which has driven the industry. And also, people are looking at integrated components, integrated and connected components. So when you are moving into a building, what components you come across, they should be interconnected and they should be related as per the design philosophy of the building. If you move into any building or if you come across any building, so what kind of products you will come across from dormakaba? So if I have to start from the perimeter, so perimeter you will find the boom barriers, the turnstiles, which are basically weatherproof, robust and elegant, and also meeting your design requirements. Moving on to the facades. So facades, we have different kind of automatic sliding doors, which are basically providing you a touch-free access solutions. Coming again to the facade or to the lobby, we have different kind of revolving doors, whether it is revolving doors or whether it is personal interlock, depending on the security need that you require. Now from here, we move on to the lobby area, which is the showcase of the building, where you require these turnstiles, or the swing barrier gates. So you have different kind of requirements for turnstiles, whether it is for normal or whether it is for disabled. And presenting the next product, which is a kind of having smallest footprint in the turnstile market, Argus V60.
The Argus V60 offers the smallest footprint of any optical turnstile in the market today. Argus V60 offers a footprint less than 10 inches, providing the ability to fit into the tightest of spaces, integrating into your access control system and ensuring tailgate detection. Available in a variety of color options, V60 offers the same architectural design elements as the rest of our Argus line. The ergonomically positioned scan plate and status lights have been installed on the front of the turnstiles for better visibility and ease of use. Current optical turnstiles in the market detect passage using horizontal and/or vertical sensors that capture an array of roughly 15 to 30 points. This can create blind spots within the sensor array that lead to false alarm triggers or unrecognized tailgating attempts. Argus V60 offers a more effective solution. Using vertically positioned sensors, the V60 generates a more complete sensor capture, while dormakaba's SenseLib analyzes the shapes of the array to differentiate between multiple people or objects within the lane. Pairing the more detailed sensor information captured by the V60 with SenseLib is what allows the V60 to effectively differentiate between a true tailgating attempt, a person carrying a large bag, or two people walking closely together.
So that was Argus V60 for you, gentlemen. Wherever you have space constraint, this product or solution can be thought of. Now, moving to integrated access. So as I was talking about, when you move into a building, the products or the solutions which you come across should be integrated and should be integrated with the design of the building. So whether we are talking about architectural hardware, whether we are talking about key system, it should be integrated with the design of the building, and it should be integrated and it should provide seamless flow of people. So whether you have a access control which is built into, whether it is a greenfield project, whether it is a brownfield, so your access control should be able to merge into the existing door. So whether you have a mechatronic cylinder, whether you have a electronic cylinder, or whether you have access control as in normal access control, cloud-based access control. So we have all this available with us in our product portfolio, catering to different requirements. Talking about basic door hardware, which is normally taken as a basic door hardware, but we have different kind of hardware relating to different kind of doors, whether it is surface mounted, whether it is a concealed, whether it is a floor spring, depending on different locations and criteria. With the door hardwares, of course, there are different kind of hardwares which are required to not only function the door, but also protect the door. And basically, this is taken as one of the most least areas of concern, but believe me, when it comes to maintenance, these are the areas, these are the products which require maximum attention. Now, this is something as we call as one campus, one key. So one key catering to your entire building.
Dormakaba presents One Campus, One Key. Tomorrow's technology today with Dormakaba's Master Key System, designed to make access easier and more secure at the same time. The benefits of One Campus, One Key.
Now, we have heard along with sustainability, I think one of the key buzzwords is universal design, barrier-free access environment. So with that in mind, to create a barrier-free environment for people with disabilities, we have different solutions. And one of the solutions is restroom solution for barrier-free for disabled people. And in this, we have not only solutions for a swing door, also we have a solution for sliding door. And this is something which is catching up very fast in India with the RPWD regulations and also the global norms already in place in most of the MNCs. Along with that, the demountable partitions where not only aesthetics plays a role, but also sustainability. So we have demountable partitions with all the major certifications, not only design, but sustainability is a major area for us, core area for us in the design segment. Talking about sliding folding partitions, so normally people are aware with the manual version, but in workplaces, mostly the semi-automatic and the automatic versions come into play when it comes to their training room requirements or where then it comes to the meeting rooms and all. So on one side, on the left, on the down, you see the fully automatic comfort drive. On the top, you can see the semi-automatic, which can be pushed. The difference between the semi-automatic and the fully automatic is fully automatic, you don't have to do anything. It's just happens with the touch of key. And these are acoustic walls. Come to sliding folding, we got to talk about Skyfold. With this, my presentation comes to an end, but I would like to take 30 more seconds to just touch upon something which is very important for us, which is sustainability. And sustainability is built into our core. So we have a partnership with these organizations where we work on sustainability, and it is built in our core in whatever we do. We also contribute to United Nations Sustainable Goal. Out of 17, we fulfill 9 of the goals. Last but not the least, I would like to invite you to our CEC, Dormakaba CEC, Customer Experience Center, present across Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore, 3 of the major cities. And we also have a very small stall at the back, wherein our team of experts are there. So if you have any query, you can discuss one-to-one with us. We would be happy to welcome you. Thanks. And with this, thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mishra. Now, moving to the first panel discussion of the day, it's really exciting because we have some great minds joining here from not just a single segment, but we have architects, we have facility heads, we have project management consultants. All of them, basically stakeholders involved in different stages of a building's life cycle, come together and share not just in silo, but the entire process of how a workspace evolves, right from its concept to its operations and also even its renovations, etc. So, the first topic for this evening is bridging the gap between global standards and local realities. Delhi is at the heart of companies that have been coming in and establishing such large campuses. And we have with us some brilliant minds who are in the midst of delivering these spaces for them. So I'm not going to take much time, and I'm going to quickly call on stage my panel moderator and our speakers for this particular panel discussion. I would love to call on stage Ms. Shruti Garg, who is the Senior Director for Projects at JLL. She's also the moderator for this panel. And joining her are speaker Shweta Grover, who is the Executive Director at Adrian's. Joining her is Lisa Salvatore, who is the Studio Design Head for Delhi for Ultra Confidential Design. With them is architect Vijay Dahiya, who is the partner for Team 3, and Amit Arora, who is the partner at Group DCA. I'm going to call each of the gentlemen, and I have my lady here with me. And I'm going to quickly hand it over to Shruti here to take forward this panel discussion. Shruti. Yes, yeah. My apologies. We also have joining them Manish Peshin, who is the business head for professional lighting at Havells India. My sincere apologies, please. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for each of the speakers here taking their time out and joining us. Shruti, quickly over.
Thank you. Thank you. Trying to get these microphones out. Yeah. Great. So we have a panel here. Hi.
We have one person.
Okay. Great. Great. Thank you. Good evening to all. I know we're running a bit late, but I think we'll take some time here since you all have taken out time to be here. So, and thanks, Rashmi. Thank you for introducing us all. You're very generous. So I'm just going to say that, hey, welcome to the first session. And in today's interconnected world, I just want to give some sort of a context. So in today's interconnected world, we face a very fascinating paradox. While technology connects all of us globally, and corporates that we all work for or work with are quickly expanding their footprint across continents. So the need for authentic and contextual, very contextual workplace design and experiences has never been more critical. So with that said, I think the question, as Rashmi said, is how do we bridge this gap between global standards and local realities? And today, with our distinguished panel here, we're trying to bring together leaders who may have wrestled with this challenge through their journey. So I'm going to quickly request our panel to start with a quick introduction, and Manish will begin with you.
Hi. I'm Munish Peshin. Currently, I manage the professional lighting business for Havells. Have worked for over 25 years in lighting industry and worked on a lot of amazing projects across the country and seen the lighting industry transitioning the way the landscape of Delhi has transitioned. Great to be here with this esteemed panel. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. Lisa.
Hi. Oh, okay. It's working. I'm Lisa Salvatori. I'm the studio head of Ultra Confidential here in Delhi. And actually, I just came back to India 5 months ago, but I started my career here. And it's fun because I worked with Shruti 8 years ago, I think. So we have some past. um, I don't know if you are aware of Ultra Confidential, but we design headquarters for international companies mostly, or very high-end Indian clients. And I think I'm here to give my insight on the global part, since I worked in Europe many years. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Hello.
Vijay. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I'm Vijay. I'm an architect. I'm a partner at a firm called Team 3. We are a sort of architecture, interior design planning firm based in Delhi. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Shweta.
Hello, I'm Shweta. I'm part of Adrian's. I run business, design thinking, and strategy. We are a leading workplace design company in India, and personally, post architecture and some bit of work with Core and Shell. I've been doing workplaces for nearly 2 decades now. A lot of experience with Shruti. So let's have some conversations today.
Thank you. And Amit.
Hi, this is Amit from Group DCA. We are a firm based out of Gurgaon, and we have been in the business of design for last 30 years, across spectrums, across specialities, and trying to make sense of this chaotic world.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. And as Rashmi said, I'm Shruti. I'm Shruti Garg. I'm part of JLL India team. I lead the operations for North India for projects division. So it's good to have you all here, and it's very nice to have the panel here. And I'm just going to quickly dive into my first question for you all. You have to complete this sentence. What is the biggest myth about global workplace design standards? And we'll begin with you, Amit.
There should not be global standards. We need to have local standards.
Okay, I take that local. Shweta.
It's global is local and standards are no standards. We have to figure out the standards.
Okay, spoken like a true fit out interior design architect. Vijay.
Yeah, so I think a lot of standards are, if they are prevalent, are related to AVP and probably occupancy density. And I think remaining everything is sort of up to you.
Okay.
I would say that one myth is that they all have to look like Google, but global standards are much more than this, and people do not realize it.
Still the myth is whatever is the global standard is maybe much beyond what we can do or much beyond we need. Rather than thinking maybe we have different needs and the same needs, things needs to be kind of dealt in a different way, which is very much relevant to India.
Nice, very interesting. I think the common theme that you can see here is the thing around global and local. So global, yes, localization. And that actually takes me to my next question, that what in your experience, and Manish will begin with you, what in your experience and with your business line, what is that localization experience that you have?
So, yeah, let me go to. So, in fact, I think the whole process of taking something which is doing very well globally and adapting it or kind of making it meaningful for India is, the normal perception or the, myth there was in terms of whether it will be, we'll be able to do it first, maybe when then you kind of really adopt technology, but whether it will be affordable in an Indian context. My experience with this whole things and lighting industry has gone through this transformation. The ask of our customers of the application has gone up. So it had become mandatory for us to really adapt those and kind of really bring out products which would match those standards. I would say what my experience was till the time it became regulatory important, we always thought it's not needed. It would always be expensive. We might not be able to scale it up in India. The moment it becomes mandatory, the same thing looks much more easier. We are able to adapt much more. And I saw in a lot of cases, we could do better than whatever was laid down by the global standards. We could modify them. We could do on certain aspects. To give you a simple example, it applies to mostly to road infrastructure and all. The global standards, they don't take care of erratic power conditions in the country. And when we looked at our conditions, if we had kind of cut, copy, pasted the same standard and built products, they would have failed miserably, and initially they failed. And what, as lighting industry, we built for India were more robust product which could take care of those standards. And apparently those standards have been now adopted in most of the developing countries. So from a localization perspective, it is always easy to do. Yeah, regulations play a very important role when it comes
I think that's
to
a very,
adoption.
yeah, that's a very good example, I would say, of converting a challenge into an opportunity and into a good product. So that's quite nice. Lisa, over to you. With your experience of having worked outside of India and having some past experience of working here, how do you come across and address this challenge on localization specifically?
Actually, for me, it's not a challenge. So in general, we work with these big companies, and you are all aware they come with a huge list of guidelines and things that you have to follow. I had just this example. We were working for Microsoft, and they came with this huge book of 2,400 pages of guidelines. It was even more than the Bible itself, But they never take care of the local aspect. And this is where we are very important, because it's up to us really to understand, first of all, the culture, because every country is different and every country has its own richness and materials that you have to discover and everything. But even the people, they work in different ways. So something that might work in New York might not work here in Delhi. But this is true everywhere. If you go in a very big company office, like let's say in Paris, and then you go in Berlin, they're not the same. So I think the key is to take these lines of guidelines and read in between of them and try to find the answer that fit the country in which you are.
Okay, so that's also an interesting take. So you're saying it's not a challenge, and
no, it's not a challenge
so
actually.
there are other kinds of challenges, not really adapting to the standards here.
Yeah, no, it's actually really an opportunity, and I think people like to relate. So it's also really important to make a space that do not just talk about the company itself, but talk about the people that work in that company.
Sure. Amit, this is for you. Do a lot of architecture, a lot of building design. What do global standards mean to you in that context?
Lack of common sense. I mean, how can there be global standards when every context, every geography, every climate, human behavior, human heritage, they are so different? And why do you want to jacket all human beings in the same? I mean, it's like saying tomorrow everybody has to eat the same food all over the globe, speak the same language, wear the same clothes, whether you're living in cold regions of Northern Europe or Siberia, or whether you're living on the equator, or whether you're living in a jungle, or whether you're living in the Himalayas. I mean, like, why? I mean, standards have to, we need guidelines for easy reference. But the way standards are being rolled out today is such a travesty. And I mean, I'm sorry to say it's the biggest joke we are playing on ourselves. I mean, we go for certifications, we call it sustainability, and that's the most biggest disaster we are doing to the environment by trying to follow those global standards. And they are just being handed from top down. I mean, they just don't take into account. I mean, they're as nonsensical as they can be. And living in the ecosystem that we do, and and we try to look for logic in human behavior, and most of our behavior ends up being nonsensical. So building industry is just a part of it.
You're right, actually. I think it's about context.
It is. I mean, like here we are doing, okay, we get a gold certification, platinum certification, this air conditioning, this ASHRAE standard, this fresh air, this, that. And then we envelop the whole building in glass and all. And then we are creating more and more heat. I mean, every kilowatt of air conditioning is a kilowatt of heat produced. We have glass enveloped buildings, but none of those buildings work without artificial lighting throughout the day. Then we spend money on automation, on facade control. So we create one problem and then we create 10 more solutions to a thing. Whereas, I mean, just go back a few, I mean, the other day I was visiting Eames for some reason. Now, Eames had those louvers designed all around the facade, which were controlling the sunlight. And I remember going there as a child, the buildings used to be cool with a fan. Everybody used to work so efficiently. Corbusier spent a few years building, his Tower of Shadows and all to study sun movement, and he designed those buildings. And today you go to those buildings and it's a requirement today. You have to air condition them because we have so much heat being generated around us. And it's a compounding of problems.
So I get your thought. So it's not a cookie cutter design. Global standard should not mean cut, copy, paste. There are a lot of things I understand. But when it comes to
I mean,
global,
I was just kidding. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
You walk into a corporate office today, and in a peak May afternoon, you see people wearing black woolen suits. And then they have to put their air conditioning on 18 degrees. And that building has been designed and given a LEED certification. On which, and then we have had the fortune to deal with corporates from all over the world. And there was one Hawaiian company we were working for. And the CEO is dressed in a printed shirt and shorts. That's how they dress. That's how they live.
So I
Why
want
can't,
you to
I mean,
think
go
about-
back to the colonial times and you see old movies, pictures, cops wearing shorts and half sleeve loose shirts. And they're comfortable standing on the road.
So I come from 10 years of corporate culture. I am going to counter that in a little while, but actually I'm going to go to Shweta and then you. Shweta, you worked in this field for a very long time. You have worked with clients who expect those global standards. And of course, you do grapple with the local realities of building in this market, designing in this market, and also working with clients who are global clients, but based in this market. What has been your experience?
So, Shruti, over 20 years, we've seen a lot of visible changes in mindset and thinking. Thankfully, a couple of years back, standards were pretty stringent and they had to be followed. But in the last many years, we are seeing flexibility being allowed by 90% plus clients. They give it as a foundation, but everybody is adding on to it, localizing it, working with the local teams and, bringing in that whatever cultural nuances, experience, blah, blah. My personal experience is all of us, the world, because of technology, all the stuff that we follow, there is a thread of following a global norm or global aspirations. We cannot negate that global aspiration. You see a good looking office in another country, and the same aspiration is expected in our country. It goes with any sort of product, luxury items, lifestyle. So we can't say everything has to be localized. There are a lot of global impressions which is forcing us or kind of steering us to make buildings in a certain manner, live in a certain manner, and similarly create design workplaces in a certain manner. In my design experience, we have been taking referencing and inspiration from global work forever, but says there's a fine balance of what we inspire as global look, feel, materiality, and there's a lot of adaptations to local stuff. And I think that's pretty well sorted. But yes, going to Amit, he's correct in his own way. We are living in air-conditioned environments. We have a very stark reality outside on our streets still. We are not yet the American format or the European format cities. Their urban planning is different. Their infrastructure, civic sense is different. So yes, I guess maybe someday we'll be there, but I don't see it coming. So
it's a very interesting panel, actually. You have somebody with a very positive outlook who's turned that challenge into an opportunity. And then we have Amit here on this end of the spectrum. The cynic, yes, I get that. But
and we are doing midway.
I'm hoping Vijay gives us that balance. Vijay, what is your take on this?
Never been a challenge as such, but I understand where it's sort of, at times when there are companies which exist world over and through multiple countries, they need to do a handbook and they sort of hand it out. You need to go through it. You need to sort of challenge it in case it's challenging enough. But I think there are a huge amount of flexibility sitting today. 10 years back, we did Harley Davidson's first office in India, and they said we want Harley Davidson's office in India and not a office in America. Everything was different. There was granite floors. There were screens which were sort of made from shield of Harley Davidson as partitions. There was a motorcycle workshop inside the office. So multiple things. So the clients are fairly flexible. Like I started, I think a lot of these standards are related to MEP lighting, ventilation, which is sort of good and bad. This 23 plus minus 1 or 22 plus minus 1 doesn't work for us. I think all the employees feel, or everyone inside office space feels actually cold. Like this space, I know it's probably cold to 20. And then all of us feel sort of fairly cold in winters. So these temperatures are odd. Also, we also have to cater to the fact that India has 5 climate zones, but majorly 4. So, as a country, we have all the countries within us. So, there's huge variable within our country itself in terms of what we need to design for. And we get huge amount of light levels outside. We are used to more light. And somehow our flow plates have become massive over a period of time due to efficiencies. But I think predominantly because the lux levels are so high outside, we want more light. So I think there are things which we take, but no one has literally forced us to do anything specifically which are related to global standards. Even sort of eliminating carpet. I don't know what the obsession in our country of carpet is, especially in workstation. And people have this claim that it adds to acoustics. It only adds to acoustics when people are walking on it. Otherwise, I think it's sort of, it has very little contribution to office environments.
I know what Welspun is going to come and say.
They have other products. They have LVTs and they have other. So, this is one part of it. But yeah.
Thanks for that. And I knew you will bring in that balance. That was a very good example of a project that you did. Shweta, back to you very quickly. I know we've been talking about the future of workplace for so long, and this conversation with technology coming in, and now with global standards, of course. What is your take, and what has been your experience when you design at this kind of an environment, and especially where the densities are really high? Do you think you're able to manage those global standards in this context?
Well, post-COVID, flexibility in agile working has really helped. We are doing dense workspaces. That's not going to change given the GCC environment in India and the rising real estate cost, etc. But agile working, multiple choice settings, work from home policies have really helped balance that real estate issue. But yeah, in some companies which are extremely dense, we are just seeing some breathers coming in, but that's all there is. But yeah, I would say it is just helping with the work from home and agile hybrid policy. If 100% work from office comes back, then I think we'll again have to look at various levels of concerns to mitigate.
But I think that's the whole point of discussing what are these global standards, as rightly questioned. What are these global standards that are sometimes in conflict with the Indian or local realities? See, for me, and as a project management professional who was at some point in time a designer as well, but that was long back. My experience is that whenever we or as consultants or designers tell the clients that there is some interpretation of local context, it's typically in terms of, and I'm not trying to sort of patronize it, but say it's typically in terms of just graphics, colors, Indian motifs. But that is not really the local reality. The local reality is very different. It's the people, it's the skill, it's the material, it's the kind of, I would say, availability of resources that we have, which may not be available outside. And so going back to what Amit said, what are these global standards? And if yes, how are we as architects or professionals in the industry really addressing the local reality? And that is what I want to pick your brains on. So I'll go back to you, Lisa, and I'll come back to you, Amit. I think you have something to say here. I'll go back to you, Lisa. Lisa, how in your current role are you able to address this, bridge this gap? Because, it says We want to bridge this gap. So A, what are these global standards that you have come across? Maybe one example which stands out for you.
So actually, you are right when you are saying that is much more than colors and, you know, brand identity. That is just the latest layer that comes and is not that important. It's more about the well-being of people, you know, like big companies, they might say that meeting room has to be like this because there has to be a certain amount of space for everyone and, you know, the distance in between the table, all these kind of things that create all these guidelines. Those are the standards. And as I was saying, I think they are more focused on the well-being of the people that are working there. And it's very important as well, as you were saying, to understand the culture, because as I already said, people might work differently here than Paris, than Berlin. Also, people might want to approach the space in a different way, and things that are true for us in Europe, they are not true here. For example, there is still this, I mean, it's there in Europe as well, but this idea of luxury around having is proper space, you know, private space is still there in Indian culture. So you have to take care of that. You cannot just impose to people to stay in the open space because that is the global standard, because you will not take care of their well-being. And at the end of the day, they will not work in a proper way. So your company as well will lose some money because, you know, they will not have the motivation to come and these kind of things. And yeah, so I think our role is really to understand the culture. I mean, to try to go beyond the colors and, you know, the chaos and everything, and try to understand how they behave. I'm always fascinating. I'm very much into observing people, and I think you have this all passion around food, and, you know, how you share it with your colleagues and everything. That is very different. I mean, I'm Italian, so we have the same thing. But for example, in Paris, like, you eat in 10 minutes something that is not smelly at all, and then you go back to work. But here, I mean, it's a whole part of your daily journey. So that has to be taken care. It's just a small example, but it talks so much about your company, like your local company.
So I want to pick up something from what you said, well-being. Munish, in your case, in your business, how is sustainability, technology working towards this well-being solution?
So, so I think, as far as the lighting industry is concerned, post LEDs becoming the light source, there was this whole, I would say, kind of a race on energy efficiency, which was driving procurement, which was driving convergence, everything. But in the last few years, I think these two elements which you mentioned, sustainability and thus well-being, these have really, really caught up. And from the perspective of, sustainability, definitely it is to do with the whole overall circularity of the offer, right from in terms of making it in India, making with locally relevant materials. So that is something which goes into it. And second thing, from a sustainability and energy thing, LEDs already brought in a lot of benefit. Today, the adoption of lighting controls, smart lighting has really added more I would say, merit to the whole thing in terms of enhancing the value which a customer gets from a sustainability index. Now, when we relate it to well-being, I think there's a next level which we are taking. It is not now looking at the energy efficiency, but it's looking more about the occupants, how they feel both from a perspective of vision as well as from a more from a perspective of feeling. So the whole idea about making sure that as offices are also getting constrained in terms of you don't have the complete offices getting a broad daylight. You have different areas where you don't have it. How do you really harness light to make sure you have a more energy efficient office as well as a more, I would say, from a healthy office, so that the corner seat near the mirror, near the glass is always a concern who gets that seat. So how the office layout is done, whether it is the open workspaces or the cabins go that way or something. So that's something on which we are working. So there is a whole lot of emphasis, by creating that outside environment inside these rooms artificially, and lighting does help us grow. And it is not only the visible light. So now we are working in the spectrum which is visible, but then it has biological impact on you. So that is one way in which the whole well-being aspect is being looked at. In this whole energy efficiency journey, I think one thing which really was missed out, and I think in the past few years, thanks to the whole fraternity, I think that is coming back, is the quality of light. I think that is something which was totally taken a back seat. I think that is improving, and I think together with designers and the industry as a whole, a lot of work is today happening on optics, clear control, which is a very big impact. Today we are also sometimes constrained to deliver a very good office in a space constraint and all. So these solutions have really helped our designers to make sure that we can utilize even the inner core of the building for people spacing. Otherwise, that would go into dormitories, that will go into storage, that will go into cafeteria, those kind of applications. But these solutions, which can really bring outside environment inside, give you the same feeling artificially, is really, really helpful.
Thanks for sharing that. Amit, I want to quickly come to you and understand, what do you think is the biggest opportunity in this local market? Any one big opportunity
No,
which you
so,
think drives?
when there are tremendous opportunities, and technology is a great enabler.
Sure.
So lighting, as just been said, today we can do so much with lighting, and we can program lighting at very nominal cost to, match your circadian rhythm, the blue spectrum to, starting from 4,000 to go to 6,000 to go to 3,000 in the evening. That helps your sleep cycle, that helps that. And much more than that, it has enabled us literally when you're doing large floor plates. And then always say, like, you do a restaurant, and given a chance, everybody would want to sit outdoors. But we don't have that opportunity. But we all gravitate towards outdoors. We all want to connect with nature. Given a choice today, we think nice weather outside, trees outside, I think we all will rather be outside than indoors. That's human nature, and that's a very, very basic need. And today, thanks to lighting, we can actually create forests inside large floor plates. We
Right.
can create actual gardens inside. Big trees, of course, doing water bodies and all is easy. But to do lighting enables those plants to thrive inside. We can program them for that and all that jazz, and we have done that successfully. It's been absolutely amazing. And the whole ecosystem that gets generated. So technology creates a lot of opportunities. My problem is that today we are living in the best time ever. We have got better access to healthcare, to knowledge, to everything. It's how we use that knowledge. And the minute we go into aping, I would say not even global, but Western standards is where we get into problems. We follow Japanese, and we have worked with some Japanese companies. Now they are very clear for whatever reasons. Summers, the temperature will not go below 28 degrees. Winters, it will not go above 18 degrees.
That's actually a good example of global standard, because a lot of people are trying to follow that.
So but the standard that we have been following is 22 degrees. And like, I'm sorry, I never dressed for 22 degrees. I'm being freezing right now, man. I was like.
But anyway, I think that's a good point, and that's a nice positive take on local opportunity. I want to quickly go to Vijay, and what is one key advice that you would give to any organizations who struggle with this? They come with global standards, and then they grapple with local realities, and they work with architects like you, consultants like us. What will be that one key advice?
I think that's not only a workspace problem. I think that's the problem with design buildings today. Everything looks alike. Hyatt in Delhi is same as Hyatt in Tokyo, and workspace is similar. So how does the company sort of integrate the workspace and those people within that particular country? How does that workspace speaks of that particular people who was basically working there? Like sort of she mentioned that food is so important for us. How do you get to that food and the people have sort of interest? Are you doing large cafes? Are you doing proper ventilation for that? And unlike a lot of countries in West, we spend a lot of our festivals within the office. We don't have 2-week breaks, We are in office one day before Holi. We are in one day before Diwali. We're working here. All our festivals are within our office. So what are you doing for that particular part? We are also a sort of most populated country in the world. Our fertility rate is now dropping, but I think will stop growing in 2050 or 2060. So we have, let's say, on average, 2 children per family. And there's a huge drop of females who stop going to office once they start a family. Is there a sort of a movement in terms of incorporating, women to the offices? And that can be done only when you sort of support that. Otherwise, the number of females who sort of drop, from the professional work for 10 years, 15 years, and at times forever is a lot because, the responsibilities come in.
A lot of interesting pointers.
Yeah.
Shweta, very quickly, what will be your one key advice in a similar situation?
As an architect, I would just, I really feel that we are really working towards buildings, interiors, lifestyle. We really need to figure out what our country is offering or can do improvement for our air, infra, waste disposal. All the cities are grappling with traffic. And if you are going to be a growing workforce, with 55% of people going to be urbanized in the coming years, we really need policymakers to look into it seriously. We are trying to ape the West or the global footprint, but even if you compare similar countries, say China, whereas and us, I think there's a huge gap. We really need to localize a lot of things, keeping in with the pace of development that we are foreseeing. We want to be a growing economy, but the hardships outside the campuses and outside our workplaces and our homes, that's going to become a big roadblock if we don't attend to it. We are creating LEED Platinum building workplaces, well standards, but are we applying it the minute we step out of our projects? That's the missing gap, which at least we architects, from old school architects, we see it every day. We feel it. And I think that's something which, as a society, we should call out and have someone address it, solve it.
I think that's a nice note and just about time. I think that's a nice note to close as well. I think we've covered some very pertinent points today. And one of key takeaways for me, and when you say somebody has to do it, I think we are those people. We have to do that. We have to make that change. But still, I would say the key takeaways for me on globalization, on especially this aspect of global standards and local realities, for time to come, it will continue to be a challenge for most of us, I think for all of us in this industry. But people who are in position to make a change, we have to become more user-centric, more human-centric, think about some authenticity in design and application, talk about flexible, creative solutions, do not do cut, copy, paste, question the standards. And I think with that, I would like to close this. Thank you for your time. You've been a wonderful panel and a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Yes. I would request each of you all to please stay back. I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Somnath Chaudhary, who is the National Key Accounts for dormakaba, the manager with dormakaba, and Saurabh Agarwal, instead of Saurabh, I'm so sorry. We have Mr. Devesh Pandey, who is the general manager from Welspun. I would love to invite both of these gentlemen to just give a small token of appreciation from our end to each of you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I think there was a debate going on within the internal system of our panel, but thank you so much. And I think there were a lot of contradictory remarks too made, but I'm so glad that y'all came out in open, spoke about it with such voice. Really, thank you so much for your time and your. While our speakers take a quick time with their group photo, I would love to introduce the next individual who's going to join us on stage, one of our partners and our long-standing patrons with the Smart Office Summit journey. And that's Mr. Saurabh. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all of our speakers here today. Thank you so much. So, there was quite some bit spoken about flooring, carpets, everything here on our first panel itself. And to throw some further light on it and just give us a little more glimpse into this product segment, I would love to call on stage Mr. Saurabh Agarwal, who's the Vice President for Commercial Spaces Welspun Flooring, to give a quick glimpse into what his brand and his product line is all about. Ms. Saurabh, all over to you. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Rashmi. Am I audible? Thank you, Rashmi, for the introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saurabh Agarwal, and I'm representing Welspun Flooring. I would not bore you with a detailed presentation, but definitely would like to bring something which is very, very innovative about the field, which is the field of the carpets, right? So I'll start a very quick details about Welspun. Yeah, so a very quick, sorry, my mistake. A very quick details about Welspun. Welspun is a part of now a $5 billion company, which is into multiple businesses. We are known in the market as one of the most innovative companies, and which is clear from 32 global patents, which are to our advantage. We have our manufacturing set up in India, in USA, in Saudi Arabia, and many other parts of the world. We are basically into a couple of businesses, starting from the textile. I think here we are one of the global leaders in the bed and bath category. We are one of the largest exporters, I think for last consecutive 18 years, largest exporter to US for the towels and the bed sheets. We are world's #1 company into this large dia steel pipes, which are used for the transmission of oil and natural gas under the sea and over the mountains from one continent to other. We are into road projects. We recently acquired Syntex, the water tank brand. We have our own logistic companies. So a lot of companies we are into. But moving on, I mean, we are present in more than 50 countries across the globe. Multiple businesses, thousands of employees, and more than 1 lakh shareholders. We are represented for our products. We are represented by the top known brands like Walmart, Costco, JCPenney. All these are the brands which represent Welspun in the US and in different other parts of the world. Coming straight away to the flooring part of it. For the flooring, I'm sure all of you are somewhat related to the office interiors, the commercial interiors. Carpet has been one particular product which was never made in India. For the last 75, 80 years, the carpets used in India were all imported carpets. So Welspun took that initiative of setting up a plant which is considered among the top 2 best plants in the world for the manufacturing of the carpets and a couple of other flooring products. This is one of the very, very unique plant which is on a 600-acre land bank. which is with an investment of almost 2,500 crores of rupees we have set up in Hyderabad. I would just like to take you quickly through a small video on this particular plant.
Welspun has set up one of the most technologically advanced manufacturing facilities for producing carpet tiles, broadloom carpets, artificial grass and SPC flooring in India. We are globally certified with platinum-rated LEED certification by IGBC, a certified zero-waste plant and many more. It is one of the few vertically integrated plants for carpet tiles in India, and we maintain the highest quality right from using our in-house color pigments to the extrusion of various types of yarns for the manufacturing process. Our world-class yarn processing ensures highest quality output to create our carpet tiles. The tufting unit, with large number of machines, ensures high production capacity while maintaining quality and consistency. Our wall-to-wall carpet production unit not only offers unique tufted carpets, but also offers printed and highly sophisticated customized carpet designs that are used in some of the top hotels. With our trademark Ecolite backing and our specialized cushion backing, we ensure high underfoot comfort and noise reduction. This is the most automated packaging facility, which ensures high-quality product delivered to you in the best shape. Here are some room renders for our carpet flooring. Our hard flooring stone polymer composite tiles are the amalgamation of both quality and design and can be widely used in commercial, hospitality, and residential projects. Our state-of-the-art NABL accredited labs ensure we deliver only the best product to our consumers. All our products are also tested in top US labs, ensuring the world-class quality. With Welspun, your flooring needs end here, as we are your one-stop flooring solution. Step up to Welspun flooring with our Made in India, made for the world products.
So isn't it interesting? This is something which is a unique plant which is certified as a zero waste plant by one of the top global agencies. That means such a massive plant with virtually zero liquid, gaseous or solid discharge. That's what we bring to you. I'll quickly take you to the product what we offer in this plant we manufacture. We are into carpet tiles which are used for all the offices. We are one of the very few companies in the globe who can offer you the printed carpets, the printed carpet tiles for the offices or for the hospitality segment. A beautiful range of the printed carpets. We can offer a lot of customization to you. We are into a product called Click and Lock, which is stone polymer composite. I can discuss at length on that. This is some of our wall-to-wall carpets with which we are doing the large chain of the hotels, the large convention centers. This is also the green grass which we are offering. I'll just quickly show you some of the room renders for the carpets which are used in the offices. Very innovative range. This is the name of some of the very few customers what we deliver. I think we are working with more than 1,000+ customers now, and all the global and the Indian conglomerates are our customers as of now. We have executed projects worth 2.5 million square feet plus with many customers. I was talking about something new, something innovative. So I would just like to take you something very, very interesting. So ladies and gentlemen, we all have heard that the carbon dioxide is absorbed only by the plants on this earth. Now, this is a new story that Welspun is going to do it for you in case you use our carpet tiles. It's a very different technology, different type of a coating, which we can provide on request on our carpets, which can take care of the absorption of carbon dioxide. And just see the result. A lakh square feet office. I'm sure each one of you are making many offices of this size or much beyond that. It is as good as having 90 full grown trees in your own office. So believe me, I mean, it will really make the air in the environment something which is very different. Since I'm coming to the end, I'll just like to talk about one more innovation. I'm sure you have seen and used these studs which are used for the visually impaired people, right? Now, what if I say that we will do it with carpet for you? So here is a small case story on that.
Welcome to Google Ananta, Bangalore, Google's second largest campus outside the United States and a landmark of innovation and collaboration in India. Here's where Welspun Flooring took on a monumental challenge, carpeting 8 lakh square feet across 11 floors, divided into 4 color-coded zones inspired by Google's logo. Welspun Flooring crafted a unique tactile product using carpet tiles, achieving seamless design alignment. This led us to pioneer a breakthrough never done before. Innovation is never easy. It's the result of the dedication that Welspun Flooring brings to every project, which opens doors to new possibilities. This commitment was visible through the 8 rounds of sampling, exploring a world of yarns, colors, and techniques, and testing with visually impaired individuals. Along the way, it was discovered that 15% of partially visually impaired users can perceive colors, which inspired the integration of color into tactile zones. The level of quality and durability achieved exceptional heights, creating a 54-ounce carpet tile as resilient as traditional rubber or metal materials. The prominent features of Welspun Flooring's tactile carpet are invariably the values that drive our business. Our value of inclusivity drove us to push ourselves and find the solution for visually impaired navigation to support the independent movement in shared spaces. Another value is safety. With anti-skid properties, the design ensures safety in high-traffic areas and under various conditions. Certified for traction, it minimizes slip risks in both corporate and public spaces. Its 54-ounce density makes this flooring stain-resistant, durable, and low maintenance. On top of that, easy spot cleaning extends its longevity and keeps maintenance hassle-free. It can absorb ambient noise, enhancing acoustics in open-plan spaces and promoting a quieter, more productive environment. Flooring's innovative tactile carpet tiles are designed to foster a conducive environment by enhancing safety, accessibility, and comfort for all users.
So that was a unique innovation from our side, something towards the more employee-friendly offices. I'm sure you also would have noticed that even the instructions written on the floor were made on carpet. So that gives a very different look altogether, and it becomes a product which is, we have applied for a global patent for it. And we are talking to Google London also for their offices across the globe. So that was some innovative product from the side of the Welspun. So it's Welspun, made in India, made for the world product for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Somnath. Now, for actually giving us such a brilliant glimpse into what changed just in simple element. Actually, it's not really simple, but something as magnificent as flooring can do for us, for the workspaces. Now, moving on to the second panel discussion of the day, we have the topic, which is aligning workplace design with operations and principles of circular economy. This is not just about designing and handing over the space, because a lot of times we facility managers complain that architects do not come back to their projects to see how it's faring, how it's performing, or what its review is. And When we talk about circular economy, it is about the entire life cycle of the building here. So with this, I would love to call our moderator on stage, Mr. Kshitij Soin, who is the operations leader for strategic outsourcing at Value Onshore. Joining him are Samdarsh Nair, who is the partner at Sunil Nair Consultants. Along with them is Payal Kapoor, who is the associate director at Space Matrix. With them is Kiran Bagde, who is the Vice President for Design at SmartWorks, a co-working space. And finally joining them is Saurabh Agarwal, the Vice President for Commercial Spaces at Wellspun Flooring. I'm not going to take much time and I'm going to quickly hand this over to Mr. Kshitij.
Hi, good evening. This is Kshitij Soin, operational leader for Value Onshore, managing their outsourcing business and managed service businesses. And along with me, we have 4 panelists. While we introduce themselves, brief introduction was already shared. We'll just thank ITP Media and their sponsors to arrange such a good summit for this year for Delhi. And we really thank them for arranging this. So over to Saurabh and the panelists to introduce themselves before we start the topic.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saurabh Agarwal. As you have just heard me, I'm representing Wellspun Flooring. I take care of India and the SAARC country operations. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I am Samdarsh Nair and I am from a company called Sunil Nair Consultants, SNC. We are an MEP consulting firm and we also do sustainability, AVIT consulting, including campuses for American Express, MasterCard, Microsoft, etc. And it's glad to be present here today. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Payal Kapoor. I head the design studio for North India for Space Matrix. Space Matrix is a leading workplace design and build firm. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kiran Bagde. I am a VP at SmartWorks Co-working Limited, and I head the design department in the North and the West regions. And as part of my role, I basically look at the studio operations and overall design and delivery coordination. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, panelists, and thanks for the brief introduction. As the topic says, aligning workplace design with operations and principles of circular economy. Very relevant topic for today. So we'll start with Kiran first. Kiran, I think you had worked in Bangalore as well. And now you are part of your organization managing North India clients and especially Delhi or NCR clients. So just on designing part, do you see any difference in approach of occupants or developers in Bangalore versus what you see here? What is your experience?
Yes, a tricky question. I was told by my fellow panelists that I should be very, very careful while answering this. I think quite interesting. Bangalore versus Gurgaon, or if you say North versus South as well. Really 2 different personalities in the world of design. And if you were to actually, imagine Bangalore and Gurgaon as human beings, Bangalore is your cool, quirky, friend. And I think Gurgaon is more of your, very aspirational and polished friend. I think in terms of design, I feel it's the culture and the geographical context of both the locations, which actually inspires the design as well. In Bangalore, the culture has always been, it's been a IT hub for so many years now, and the culture is more talent retention, and the office design is more
employee friendly, and they ask for more of cozy nooks for quiet conversations, more of green spaces. Whereas I think here we are more into putting together a very strong brand identity, which is quite sharp, and as I said, more aspirational. I think I mean, on the other side, I still believe that with, I've actually worked with a lot of GCC clients on, on both the fronts. With that, I guess now it's coming to, like, we already had a lot of discussion about global standards and everything. So I think that is now bringing in something which clients in North versus South, they will still ask for the same.
So in
Yeah.
short,
Yes.
who are more demanding and who are more accommodating?
I would not really want to answer that
So
question.
you can pass that. Okay, let's quickly move to Payal. Payal, in design stage, to make it more operational or make it use circular economy or circular products, do you find that if you involve too many stakeholders from the occupants or the developer side or from the business client side, will it help you design better to their needs, make it more operational, or it becomes a bottleneck? What is your experience? And if you have both the experience, so you can share both.
Sure. In my experience, I think adding more stakeholders who look at different aspects of the project, it's always good to have all of them on the table. The trick actually is when to involve them, because the trade-off is between adding everything you want at the concept stage and delay decisions, or actually freeze the concept and then get to, so you have to approach it in a very structured manner. The sweet spot, I believe, is after your concept design and right before your design detailing happens. Because when you think about workplaces, they're actually about the user experience. And user experience is incomplete without operational details. How much light is coming in, for instance? How much storage do I need? What is my workflow really allowing for? How my employees going to move from point A to point B? All these things actually amount to the experience. It can look aesthetically good, but ultimately what's going to last with the user is the experience.
So does it calls for a lot of rework if you involve the multiple stakeholders after freezing the concept, or you have to push across that this was the concept and we have to pursue stay on the concept only?
It's actually a balance of the two, but yes, you will need to make changes if these operational aspects are not taken care of. A lot of these are table stakes, right? When we're designing, we are taking care of these. But there are certain very nuanced needs that come from facilities teams or operational teams that do need to be incorporated at the right moment. And if not, there are going to be changes. And then the changes are going to impact the experience overall.
So can we have some silence over there on the backside? Okay, let's continue. Okay, yeah. So thanks. Okay, now let's quickly move to Samdarsh. After 2 designers and architect, now a consultant on MEP and sustainability. So on circular economy, what is your take after having a good design, introducing products or the sustainability part? Are your business clients aware and they're asking for it, or you have to still push for it? Because yeah, sustainability is the buzzword, but it's still happening or not happening, or it has to be pushed across?
So before I answer that, I think they took the last panel a bit too seriously and reduced the air conditioning. So it's a bit too warm inside, and I can see Shruti using her, hand fan. So maybe the organizers can, look at the air conditioning bit. So, answering your question, see, I would say that circularity is something which is still not very predominant, in the, the Indian office fit out context. And even the global design guidelines of many multinational clients, that has definitely upgraded to, human wellness, to about human centricity. But, say also the best energy performance, also minimal wastage, etc. but circularity is somehow missing. And it is very important to understand the definition of circularity. Circularity means when we do a detailed life cycle assessment. So suppose if, say a tenant occupies a space and they are in that space for 9 years, 10 years lease, or maybe 20 years lease. Once they vacate that space, what happens to all that material which is there? Does it goes to a landfill, or does it goes back to a factory where it can be recycled, repurposed, or something can be extracted out of it? So when I say from a C&I perspective, and please correct me, I think there is more opportunity because LEED standard does talks about recycled content and regional materials. But when I say from an MEP perspective, LEED also doesn't considers MEP.
Yep.
LEED also doesn't takes care of the circularity in the MEP aspect. So when I go to the market and when I ask a vendor that whether this light fixture will have a circularity, now we have a standard called as TM66, which also not all manufacturers are doing it. There is no standard for electrical switchgear. There is no standard for wires or cables or panels that once this office has lived its life, where will this waste material go?
Okay.
So it is still a
good point you
distant
raised.
reality.
Before moving to Saurabh, I'll just open this question to both by designers and architects, and there are a lot of architects sitting here. We say circular products after the life cycle or after the office is vacated by one occupant and now will be utilized by the other occupant. Will we recycle? So any examples people from there or here can quote? They have managed to convince their new clients to reuse some of the workstations or some of the materials and make them conscious about this fact that circular economy has to be pushed, circular product has to be pushed. This is sustainable. Any examples both of you have done, or architects sitting there, they have done, they can even raise their hand. Is it happening, not happening? Not happening? Not happening. I can buy Vistav's word. He had designed the office for me. So if he's saying not happening, that means not happening. Okay.
I don't think it happens by that particular purpose. The purpose of reusing a particular office space that a new tenant has taken up happens primarily for financial reasons.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So
happen
that is
for
what
the
I
reason
was-
of the circularity.
That is what I took a clue from him, that operationally, if an occupant has a 3+3 years lease, he will just go for the product which is lasting for only 6 or 5 years. So he will not go for those products which has 20 years life cycle, because even if he buys those and install, he knows the circularity will end once he's over it. This is just my thought process, but we can now quickly go to Saurabh. Saurabh, in your organization, in this panel, you are from the product side. You showed in your presentation, a lot of sustainability is happening, CO2 reduction in offices, but tell us more about how these products are being used at the design stage. And do you also have to push these products, or customer is asking for such products?
Thank you, Kshitij, for that question. So before answering your question, I would just like to answer the previous question which you were asking our esteemed guests and our panelists. This life cycle assessment, as Samdar said, is something which is very, very important. Especially when we talk, since I represent a carpet manufacturing company. Carpet as a product, as you know, is made from basically two things. One is nylon, we say nylon carpet, and the backing is PVC. Both are basically the products which are not very good for the Mother Earth, right? These are something which cannot be, in case, generally, what has been happening is these are used for land refill after it is discarded. So when we were setting up this global factory, we came across the same thinking that if we give it, whatever the factory waste is getting created, if we give it to the normal rag pickers or the vendors who pick up the waste, then it is definitely going to go into the land refill only. We thought a lot what needs to be done, and we really came across. So I'll just like to add one thing that when you talk about a carpet, it's very difficult. Practically, it's very difficult to recycle it, because removing nylon and PVC, it'll be more costlier than the actual cost of the carpet.
Yep.
So what we did is that, I mean, some gentlemen who could really think of it, we approached a cement plant, or we tied up with a cement plant. Now what we do is all the factory waste, we take it to a cement plant, we shred it in pieces over there, and then it is used in place of fossil fuel.
Okay.
Because you use it for burning. So it's not exactly recycle, but say you can call it repurpose. I mean, something like that. So I think the industry will have to think of some innovative ways and means of making it happen.
Okay, good.
So
good.
that's it.
Good. You have
Now,
got this.
coming to your product question, yes, since I'm representing a product manufacturing company, I think there's a good role which is played by all the corporate real estate guys. We look upon them that do they follow sustainability principles? Do they really work on sustainability? We also look at all the designers like you, that are you really designing the projects which are sustainable projects? But I think the onus here is also on the manufacturers, be it lighting. I think we had a lot of discussion on lighting, air conditioning, ceiling, flooring, whatever. The onus is on the product manufacturers also to bring out something which is a really sustainable product. I'll just like to give an example. I'm sure all of you have heard that the carpets are made from nylon and all and all. When we were setting up this factory, Welspun as a group is very, very strong in sustainability principles. In fact, we are competing with Walmart in terms of Dow Jones Sustainability Index on a global level.
Okay.
When we were doing it, we realized that we should do something. And we worked for almost a year and a half. And I'll just show you this plastic bottle. I'm sure each one of you see this plastic bottle. I'll just give you some statistics. The number of the plastic bottles which are produced in one particular year across the globe. If I just convert this plastic bottle into a spoonful of powder and make a heap out of it, it is more than the height of Burj Khalifa. That means every single year, we are creating at least tens of the Burj Khalifa from this plastic bottle only. And the life is nothing less than 500, 700, 800 years. Nobody knows about it. So I think a lot of industry people started thinking what we can do. Okay. We came out with a concept that we are making beautiful carpets from these plastic bottles. I'm sure you would have heard in one of the years, or maybe 2 or 3 of the years, Indian cricket team jerseys were also made from the recycled plastic bottle.
Very nice.
So the idea is very clear that the product manufacturing companies will also have to invest time, energy, money, everything in bringing a product which is sustainable.
What I can sum up, you are saying your end product can't be recycled, but you are using a circular products while your production process.
Perfect.
That answers the basic. Thank you. Thank you. So let's come back to the design part and make it operational. So is a fancy good design is expensive, cost ineffective, or it can be cost effective also? Means design or a good design, will it be operationally on the front end from the CapEx point of view, heavy on CapEx, heavy on OpEx, or it would be vice versa? What is your take as these designers and consultants?
I think it really doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, that's what, designers and we bring that expertise on the table. But definitely, I think some of the factors, and I think, again, it's not just about look and feel, and that's why we get into sustainability and, having certified products, reuse and recycle all the products, but definitely not something which will, hold us back from creating a good design within, minimal budgets.
Okay. What is your take?
I think the idea is to look at it differently. You're talking about cost upfront or cost through the course of the project or through the course of the workplace that it's going to stay.
Yep.
Because both those things are very different. I may spend a little more on something that's expensive, but if there is a higher durability of the product, if I can take that along with me to the next office, use it there, if there is scalability involved in the design or the product itself, automatically that does give me a better return on investment. So expense has to be looked at very differently now.
But we can say a good design is is not to be an expensive
No.
proposition.
No,
Okay,
it
good.
doesn't necessarily need
What
to
is
be
your take on your MEP and other sustainable consulting projects when you take?
Kshitij, your question is good design versus the cost of the good design?
Yep, yep.
As they say, if good design is expensive, try something cheaper and you will know the cost of a cheaper, Uh, definitely there has to be a certain benchmark which we should definitely follow in terms of design. And, particularly when I say MEP also, not just pure energy efficiency or water efficiency, materiality, etc., but also general MEP design hygiene, is something which is compromised in today's scenario, maybe due to paucity of time or overburden or maybe lack of good designers, etc. But I think it is a very, very essential part, and there is no expensive cost to that at all.
Good.
Not at all.
So I'll take a clue from the last panel discussion and open a question here. When we plan a project, design a project, we give some parameters which will be achieved while designing and execution. We hand over a project. This was mentioned in the last panel as well. How do designers and architects and consultants educate their customers or builders or occupants that how to measure the success of the good design or the design which was given to them with the promises? How do, as an occupant, I'm not aware how to measure it. How often do you educate them on what all parameters? I'll start with you, Kiran.
I think success, thinking of success in terms of corporate context, what is the first thing probably comes to our mind is, I guess, numbers.
Yeah.
Graphs which are going, upwards towards the right, and probably a dollar sign, right? Pretty traditional view. But I think it's when it comes to how we are bridging this gap between our corporate vision, the design, and the operational efficiency, it's important that, now we think about a holistic, approach, which involves environmental, social, and operational factors. And, coming back to your question about how do we measure it, let's start with environment. It's not about, going green anymore or, start using a sustainable certified new product and materials on your sites. But it's about those little, tangible changes which we can, do on a day-to-day basis. For instance, we start, measuring waste reduction, deviation metrics where on our sites as well, how much of our, waste has been being able to recycle or, been reused, and how are we actually reducing the emission by using local and reusing, the materials. It's also called I think in our, the LEED and WELL standard, it's called the carbon emission, factor. And I think finally we bring it down to like an individual level where we start measuring and keeping a track of it, obviously, that we start measuring the energy and water consumption per occupant, and eventually it will help us basically the idea that we have to start this change at home first. But I think the circular economy is not just about, it's also about the people. So probably couple of things which are mentioned in the WELL standards, like, employee well-being and productivity, which we can, cater through the surveys which we conduct and the attendance. And it's really not about the happy employee anymore. Again, it's about the spaces what we are creating, and it's really helping them to thrive, truly thrive into those spaces. We are also, measuring our community impact. For instance, are we being able to create more jobs, partnering with our, local manufacturers, our vendors, and as part of the initiatives for recycling and upcycling, are we being able to bring those benefits back to a wider sort of community? And of course, I mean, creating our spaces which are more inclusive and for everybody, and which will, support all the work styles. I really strongly believe that these broader aspects, which are really probably not very, very typical, but these broader aspects will not just help the corporates to save the money, but also, create an impact and, prove that we have some commitment towards our planet and our people. And definitely building a strong and authentic reputation, which will resonate back to your investors, your employees and your customers alike.
Good. While any exposure any experience you can share? How do
Absolutely.
you measure the success of your good design you have
So
created?
actually, we turn it over its head and ask the client, what is the success parameter for you for the project? Everybody who's investing in this piece of real estate has a purpose in mind. The design does need to A, align with their business goals, and B, in terms of educating them as to how to gauge the success of this, the employee experience is going to say it all. And
So I'll narrow it down further. Have your occupants or your clients have come back after a year or 2 years or 3 years that yes, you promised something in a design, I am getting the benefits. Is that happening? Not happening?
No,
Is it
so there
happening?
is- No, so how this happens is if you benchmark it to
Oh.
say post occupancy, we're going to do a survey. These are the 7 parameters that we set out for the design, and we're going to measure the occupancy experience and overall parameters and let you know what that is. And we've done that in a couple of projects and it has been successful.
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, so let's come to one part which was discussed in the last panel also. Sustainability as a user, as a office occupant, we see such beautiful buildings with glass facades. Natural lights, everyone was talking about lights. Does those natural lights cut down my electricity bill on lights? But as a facility or a building operation person, which I was many years back, I started my career as a facility person only. Will it increase? Generally in North India, it is increasing my electricity bill for air conditioning. So how do we balance out these two things? There are light manufacturers sitting here. There are MEP consultants sitting here. There are designers across the board. Are these beautiful, good-looking glass facades actually helping buildings to cut down their electricity bill in northern part of India, or places which are warmer, unlike many of the Western areas, Western world? Is it increasing?
So Kshitij, I think the answer is very obvious. But before that, we make glass buildings, and of course we have a garb of saying that we have natural light. But I see blinds always down. So we are not utilizing any of that natural light because too much of light is actually glare. Like I am getting glare right now. So you see, there is no balance, which is frankly possible. It is actually perceived beauty, of a building versus the functional aspect of energy efficiency, which are two very distinct topics. We want both. We want a good looking glass box, plus we also want an energy efficient building. In that context, whatever best is possible is already happening in the country. The best of glazing, double glazed insulated glass, the best of air conditioning, even lighting for that matter, the least lighting power densities, etc. They're all in place and further improving. But I think it's maybe a hard reality which we have to live with, unless we take a conscious call to move towards more contextualized architecture, plus also clients also being a party to that.
Yes, you're absolutely
I
right.
think
Yeah,
I would
please.
want to say one thing about, glass building versus, our traditional buildings. I think its answer is very simple. We do have a history to go back to and pick up on those practices. And we do have, a lot of a very, very strong history of great architectural buildings who were working much before, HVAC and everything sort of came in place. And I'm glad that there are few, architects and there are few buildings which are still sort of, getting built. A very, very good example which I came across is there's a circular school in the desert of That which has been built for girls, and it works perfectly without an HVAC, and it's built on the principles of, how the sun is going to move, and they do have solar panels to help reduce the heat which has been gained. But of course, I mean, there's always a solution. It's just about
You are right, but
how
it's an
do you-
exception. It's
Yes.
not the trend. The trend is
No, it's
somehow.
not, that's what I'm saying. But I think there are, like, if you
examples.
really want to go like high rise, that's a different question. But I think there are ways to sort of, implement the traditional
Absolutely, yeah.
practices.
Okay, good. With this, Saurabh, I'll just say I'm coming not to you because of the time constraint, but we have one last word from all the panelists. Saurabh, you had a lot of time prior to this panel. Okay, so is sustainability and circular economy, circular products definitely it has a future. Is still in Indian context, it is equated with ROI and with the financial numbers, or things are changing? Quick work from all of you. Payal, you can start.
Yeah, I think it is changing. A lot of clients are becoming more and more conscious about where they're investing money, what it looks like in terms of numbers. And employees are also starting to question sustainability goals. That does become one of the parameters how you attract talent as well. So it's becoming a important success factors for decision makers. And they are interested in investing in sustainable future for their company.
Good to hear that. Your last word on this?
See, I would say that financial ROI, no, but I would agree with her that there are, we have the UN SDG standards, we have the GRESB standards, we have the CSR, as well as all, listed firms. They also have to report their sustainability parameters at large. So this is something which these large corporations are doing at large, from a climate, from a global warming, from a climate change, from a preservation of earth perspective.
You're saying
Financial
slowly-
ROI is a
slowly
no.
it is happening. Slowly it is happening.
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
good. Saurabh, your
I'll say only one thing. I think many times I feel sustainability is one of the most abused words, right? Sustainability should not be a story. It should not be some certificates. It should not be some piece of paper and a case study to be presented. People will have to think how to practice it, how to really use it. As far as the ROI and all is concerned, if you really want to use some good sustainable products, there will have to be a price to be paid for it. That one has to understand.
Okay.
Right? I
Point
think
taken.
that's something which is important. One has to really understand.
Kiran,
Otherwise,
your-
it will remain a just buzzword.
Point taken. Kiran, your last word on this?
Yeah, I think, I mean, everyone said everything, but I think it's about also behavior. So the moment we start being sustainable at home, I think there it starts. So I think there's a lot we can do at an individual level, and then it'll definitely, resonate back at a wider sort of community level.
Okay, so I'll just sum up the discussion topic. We are aligning our designs with operational needs, but still long way to go. Sustainability and circular economy is coming in. Circular products are coming in, but we have a long way to go. Do we all agree in the panel? Any questions from the audience? We are done. We are done. Thanks everyone. Thanks for, this was our time. Thanks.
Thank
A
you.
huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, we are not taking question and answers since we are on a time crunch, but I know they all are around. So for the dinner over your drinks, it would be really great if you all could meet each of us speakers. I unfortunately could not permit any question and answer in this session, but thank you so much, Kshitij. Thank you so much, panel members. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Manish Peshin, the business head for professional lighting at Havels India. to give a small token of appreciation from our end to each of the panel members here. Thank you so much. Start with our moderator here, Mr. Kshitij. He posed some really difficult questions to Kiran. Kiran tried to be as diplomatic as possible. She was like, I'll refuse to answer, but he pushed it. But no, thank you so much, Kiran, for that. Okay, please come on stage. Thank you so much. Yes. Now, before we move on to the final session of the day, we have a dynamic individual coming here on stage, Mr. Satish Kumar Sharma, who is the President for Sales and Marketing at Featherlight Products. He always has something very interesting and something very intriguing to share with the audience. And with this, I'm going to quickly invite him on stage. Mr. Satish, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Satish from Featherlight Industries.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. That's good. Ergonomic breaks are very important, right? So can we quickly for 10 seconds, everybody, please stand up. Just for 10 seconds, it's not a punishment. For 10 seconds, we are just standing up to check the blood circulation is good. You are feeling good. Now you can all sit down. Thank you so much. You're feeling good? Okay. So we can have wonderful products, ergonomic chair, ergonomic table. If we do not take ergonomic break, it becomes difficult. So how many of you are aware that Featherlight has a stall here? Please raise the hands. Okay. The members who do not know, just turn around 180 degrees back and you will see the stall. The importance of the stall is there is a bowl. There is a bowl where you need to share your card and there is a lucky draw for an ergonomic chair. So don't miss this opportunity. There the bowl and please do visit the stall. So what I'm going to do is, can I get the clicker please? Oh, there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through with certain trends which are key. I think the earlier two panel discussions gave many insights. I'm going to repeat certain aspects of it. The technology, the way of working is changing around, right? I was at Mumbai at one of the client, 10,000 employees in their campus in Mumbai. They have gym, they have cafeteria, everything. I mean, for the first time, I saw a dentist in the office. And they say that employees, just come down here. We manage everything. You just focus on the work. So I think the offices are undergoing a huge change. The human-centric places for collaboration, everybody is working around and they are trying to see how an employee can be effective. And in addition to that, technology, sustainability aspects, all are actually built in. I think the work is, flexible. One can work from anywhere, airport, cafe. I think things have changed. And the new generations, unlike the Gen X, the new generations always look at these kind of flexibilities, right? In terms of the different technology people are using before they step out, how many of you use Google Map before you step out to an office or to the destination? Please raise the hands. Yeah. So earlier, it was so easy that, oh, I need to go just sit in the car and drive. But today, before you check, you say which particular route is good for me to go around. So the artificial intelligence is, hitting each and every activity of ours to make it much simple. So I think this is there, and a lot of these companies look forward that if you're coming, please book a workstation, please book a meeting room. So the technology is there for you all to support and get the best out of it. This is something very good. How many of you use height adjustable table at your office? Please raise the hands. So the members who are not using, please try it out. Height adjustable table. Ergonomically, it is good. And after lunch, every time you don't feel like sitting, right? And people say sitting is next to smoking. So look forward for these little aspects. It will change the way we work. Different generations coming in. I think the office needs to be curated, which accommodates a lot of, the different generations in. What Featherlight does is you have certain concept in mind. Our designers, our sales team can come up with these kind of a solution. So if this is for the meeting space, we come up with these kind of solutions, the products which absorb sound, which support people to work around. You have something for a private space to come in, we can come up with these solutions. Made in India, factories are in Bangalore, where we can support. If you're looking at learning spaces, we can come up with these solutions. So anything you have it in mind, whether it is the learning space or if it is the social spaces, we can come up with these solutions for you all for your organization. If it is cafeteria, a lot of work happens here. Apart from furniture, Featherlight does what? Any guesses? Apart from furniture, Featherlight does what? Real estate. Yes. So there are two divisions for Featherlight in terms of, the business. One is real estate, the other is furniture. What you see is the factory, solar panel, where we generate electricity, run the factory. And these are the two divisions which I was talking around. And different clients who have been supporting us. We are there in India, even abroad, where we have been supporting clients. In fact, the Indian clients have taken us abroad, and certain glimpses of the factory, 100% solar, green, sustainability. As the panel discussions were talking around, a lot of focus is in terms of how we are going about carbon net zero. There are certain goals which we have taken around. So a lot of things are happening. Anyone, if you are in Bangalore, feel free to connect with us. We would like to take you to the factory, how we are manufacturing products, aligning with SDGs, with good practices, and a lot of diversity, equity, and inclusion at the factory. In fact, 30% of workforce are ladies who manage our chair factory. Visually challenged employees do work in our factories. So, this is all there, but we request you all to be there at Bangalore, and we are there to support you to showcase the factory. And this is something on the real estate, as you shared. This is our building in Chennai, which is around 5.5 lakh square feet. This is one which is coming up in Bangalore, 4 lakh square feet. And this is an upcoming project of 12 lakh square feet in Bangalore, close to the airport. This is our corporate office. Whenever you are in Bangalore, feel free to just come down. We would like to showcase how products have been designed here. So we did talk about height adjustable table, right? Most of them are motorized, but there are different innovative solutions also. Please have a look how we have been supporting clients without electricity height adjustable table for laptops. So the last one, in terms of certain case study, what we have, please have a look how we have been supporting clients. Thank you so much. Do not forget to drop your visiting card at the bowl at our stall. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Satish, for that dynamic and bringing the energy back into the room now. And with this, we come to our concluding session, which is the panel 3. And though it's the last session of the day, trust me, it's one of the most interesting sessions of the day because I've seen the discussions that's been happening over the WhatsApp groups between the moderator and the way he's been pushing each of his speakers. And it's really, I'm actually looking forward to see how this session turns out. Titled as Cost Effective Excellence, Redefining Workplace Design Within Budgets and Timelines. A lot of people do not take up this topic, but Vistas Pier was really a sport to actually have taken up something as difficult as budgets and timelines in projects. So I'm going to quickly call on stage the moderator of this panel discussion, Mr. Architect Vistas Bhagwagar, who is the principal architect at AVA Design Studio. And joining him are his speakers, Hina Bhargava, who is the associate architect at Architecture Discipline. Also joining him is Aryaman Veer, who is the founder and CEO of Morpho Dimensions. Also is Chanchal Podar, who is the design head for DFI, and Amit Malhotra, who is the principal architect at Plum Design Studio. And joining them finally is Mr. Praveen Sharma, who is the executive director for project management at Colliers. With this, I'm going to quickly hand it over to Vistas here to turn on his magic with his moderation and this panel. Thank you so much, Vistas.
Thank you so much, Rashmi. And you always give the most difficult time because, either it's after lunch or it's just before dinner. So, yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you. I think ITP is like family, and welcome to all the panel members. I think I have upped the ante in the group that we had, and look forward to having a nice session. I think, we start off with understanding. We start off by asking, why is it only showing 30 minutes out here, Rashmi? All right. Okay. Okay. So, we are going to be talking about redefining workplace design with within budgets and timelines. And actually, why I jumped at this is because all my life I've been doing that actually. And this panel discussion is really something that's going to be talking about innovative approaches to balance design with budgets. It's going to talk about long-term ROIs, return on investments, for cost-sensitive workspace design. It's going to talk about impact of tight schedules. We actually are juggling, three discs in the air. Honestly, it's cost, it's time, and it's quality, and how do you really balance all these things? So when I first understood this, the topic of the panel, it was more like an oxymoron, which was, like when you say a warm winter, it's something like that. It's really, the last time one did a panel discussion like this was affordable luxury, and it was great fun. And so I recall that, when we discussed affordable luxury, which is again an oxymoron, we now come to something like cost-effective, cost-effective design, cost-effective excellence. Now, the question to, all of you, and I just say, let's keep it like 1 or 2 lines at most, because we do have a ticker and we do have some excellent questions ahead. Can cost-effective really be excellent? And can excellent really be cost-effective? So why don't we start?
Sure. So I think excellent is quite subjective. It varies client to client. What one considers excellent might not be the same quality standard of another. I think it's more important to understand what excellence really means. So it's really the responsibility of the designer or the person executing the project to inform the client, because quite often clients are not really from the real estate background or from interior design background. So usually there's a misalignment between the cost that they've attributed towards the project and the expectation of quality that they have. So, if someone has a high budget and they have a certain luxury in mind, then that sort of aligns with each other. But if someone is going for an economical budget, but they have a very luxurious vision, those are the problematic cases. So I think that both of these are very subjective in nature, but they do vary, and the responsibility lies with the designer to really inform the client of what excellence can be achieved.
So in one line, I mean, does cost effective, does it land up being excellent? I mean, do you achieve that? Can something cost effective be excellent?
Yes, absolutely. I think cost effective can be excellent.
So my take there is that excellence is not about spending more, it's about spending appropriately. And that's really been the trick and the key over the years, prioritizing what you really want to spend on. Praveen, first of all, welcome to your first major discussion on the topic.
Thank you so
We'd
much.
really like to, ask you, is there any
Hello?
one project
Hello?
where,
Audible. Yeah.
yeah, is there any one project where you've balanced?
Sorry, actually, before that, I just wanted to add what he said.
Yeah.
That in fact, excellence and cost effectiveness both are potential partners, and they are not actually opposite. Cost effective can be excellent in case if excellence can be seen holistically, and excellence can be cost effective if excellence can be defined beyond that initial tag. I mean, the cost of entire project.
So I think it really depends on the definition of excellence.
Yeah,
For
correct,
some,
correct.
excellence may be something else, and for some, it may be, behavioral impacts, or it may be, something entirely different. So let's park that.
But it was a really, I mean, very thought-provoking question. Undoubtedly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So just coming back to the question, is there any project, where you have witnessed, the balancing of design quality with budget constraints, and how did you really observe that happening? What were the approaches that happened in any project?
Actually, not in one project. A lot of projects are
Lot of
there.
projects.
Actually, you're talking about gourmet experience at a budget of a street food cart. So that's what I can relate it to that. And we can actually give that kind of an gourmet experience on a street as well. So in fact, India is a very cost sensitive market, and budget constraints are actually, I think, everywhere. We have been facing such challenges everywhere.
the budget constraints are, I think with most of the clients, the budget constraints are there. So I think that can be done probably by being creative and to take a smart decisions and emphasize more on taking the decision or probably taking the strategic use of the resources and the technology. So I'll start. I mean, there are some innovation twists which we can add. To start with, one thing I just wanted to add, which I think in the earlier session, Payal was also mentioning in the session, that we need to get all the subject experts, the subject matter experts, and the consultants in the initial stage itself, during the initial project of the stage, so that they can be encouraged for the participation. And also, they can uncover the most cost saving solutions on
And
the
how much
project.
does that really happen, Praveen, is another discussion that we would have someday.
Yeah,
But, just coming back,
Okay.
because, a lot of the times you're just given a brief. This is what you have to do. And there is no why as to why do you have to do that? Is it appropriate? Is it the right solution? Does it make sense? So it's another discussion for another day.
Sure.
But what's the kind of approach? Hina, would you like to add on to that? What's the kind of approach you've used in any recent project where you've been able to balance the two?
Yeah, talking about offices, I would like to bring one office project only, which was not a recent one, but about 10 years ago. I would say designing smarter, making sure some level of flexibility, making use of materials which are readily available and, saves you on time. So there was this project we did for delivery in Gurgaon. And at that time, delivery was a startup. So, the rate of growth was quite unpredictable. And we started with doing 8 floors for them, of which 2 floors were supposed to be empty. By the end of 4 or 5 months, when we were about to hand over, all 8 floors were empty, plus there were another, 60 people who needed to be seated. So, we bought in the concept of delivery, shipping it and, transporting stuff. We had the availability of containers, land containers with them. So we used the containers, planted stacks of them in their campus and created, another office space with, a smarter, I would say a design move, a quick available material. So I think this would, suit, a very relevant example of, how cost effectiveness can be achieved within the time constraint.
So I'll tell you one very funny anecdote. We once had a client who said, I want to do a job in 1,000 rupees a square foot. This was a few years back. And rather than saying no, we said, okay, how much are you willing to really bend the, the rule book as such? He says you can do anything. So when we delivered the office to him, we had chandeliers with used Pepsi cans and, 7-Up cans and all that. We used actually the opportunity of a low budget to actually create a project that had messaging in it. And that really demonstrated that products can have an afterlife. This ties up with Kshitij, your talk, about how you can use a material not purposed for something in some other way. It's what I call reincarnation. And so, yeah, interesting. So there are a lot of strategies. I think we all as a profession need to be creative in meeting the budgets of clients and not really run away from that. I think that's something. Now, I want to ask you, Amit, okay? We've been juggling these two things. We've been juggling quality with cost. Now, let's add the third one. Let's juggle 3 balls at a time, which is the time element. And, once you're juggling all 3, which is the one that you would never allow to drop? Which is the one where, you would do anything to take care of? I'm sure that's quality, right? You'd not let time and budget aspects drop the quality, levels that you're delivering. What's the way, how do you ensure that you come out successful with time also being an added burden on your project?
So, we would not want to juggle with the three. We would not see these as three vertices of a triangle.
Okay.
We would pick a hero, we'll prioritize and take it in a linear fashion. Let one lead the way for the others, and invariably it's time. We would work towards the time allocation, which is towards the design, discussions. So when I say discussions, we are taking care of cost, discussing costs, ticking all our boxes, and allocating adequate time towards execution.
And what if I'm your biggest nightmare? If I am, a client who says, sorry, Amit, I don't have too much time. I need quality, and here's my cost. How do you handle that?
So again,
the biggest nightmare.
We'll sit with them and first understand that are we talking about realistic scenarios or not? Because they might say that, look, we don't have the time. So how can we prioritize or segment the entire project?
Would you walk away from a meeting like this? Because he'd say, look, the next guy is sitting there. He's ready to do all three. It doesn't really matter if he promises to do that and does not deliver it in the end. So, those are the games we all face.
Yeah, again, the point here is that I would not want to show them a picture which I cannot achieve.
Sure.
I would still talk or be realistic and drive it with data that, yes, this is the time or the cost that is required.
Sure.
So,
sure. Aryaman, would you like to take that? I'll be coming to you, Chanchal. So, would you like to take that? Because I do hear that you promise deliveries within a certain period of time. So, I think you would be well suited to answer this particular aspect. How would you balance cost, quality within the timeline that you're committing?
Sure. So actually, Morphodimensions is an extension of Morphogenesis. And as a company ethos, we can't compromise on quality. So I don't have an option to compromise on quality.
That's the
and
given.
time is the only
Absolutely.
parameter. The way we are able to achieve the timelines that we do commit is we plan preemptively. So because we have a large number of projects running at any point in time, we do in advance procurement, we do inventorying, we do warehousing of raw material. So we've gotten into a lot of that in the last 6 months. So we are taking speculative bets into creating inventory of raw material that might have a lead time in executing the project. So the way we are able to deliver is by removing some of these variabilities that sort of occur in a project and taking things more into our control. Another thing we've done is we've brought all the functions in-house. So earlier we were using MEP consultants or we were using various vendors. We've tried to bring as much of it in-house as possible. Initially, that was inefficient on a cost perspective for us. But once we got the number of projects in a certain geography, I think it made it feasible.
Sure, sure. Guys, how about looking at other industries? Let's look at the car industry. Let's look at furniture industry. How do they grapple with the same issues? And is there some takeaway from across industry that we need to think and bring back into our, way of working? Are we sometimes too much in silos and working too much in a time warp or in a zone where, the world is moved on and we are not moving? So anybody, open question to any of you.
So definitely, I think where we lack or what we can adapt definitely is modularity, standardization. We've seen it come through in the modular furniture, but it did not go forward beyond that. So definitely, if we look at the car industry or the modular furniture, if we can imbibe that standardization, it's something that will help us a lot.
All right, lovely. Praveen, question to, sorry, I must go to Chanchal now. So, the use of technology, does something like, I mean, does the new AI buzz that's happening all around, does, BIM, do other technologies really come to your help in, having to deal with, design within budgets, within timelines? Is there something that you are doing, say, in your way of working?
Yeah, of course. Today is the emergence of AI as we know of it. Everything is about AI. Architecture, AI, interior, AI. What can be the quick color scheme? Everybody is looking at AI
Yeah.
without knowing, actually. Because since we exist, since the early old age era, how humans have come into this, our mindset is always think what we see is what we perceive. Now, AI is taking advantage of that scenario. We are still at a very nascent stage, but if we miss out on that part, we are losing heavily. So currently we have in our office, we have been using AI extensively to quench out at least 1% of efficiency extra. So you can imagine what is the amount that we will be able to do when it is at a very improved stage.
So does it allow you to deliver faster?
Yes, yes.
Not just on the drawing board, but also
At
on
site.
sites.
Yes, I'll give an example. Like we are using ChatGPT, we are using the modern different Leonardo, different kind of web tools that are available with us. The good thing about is this: what BIM was, Autodesk BIM, or the how we process our buildings, was 10 years back. AI is not at that stage now. It's equivalent to what BIM is now. So how the industry has improved on BIM, how the capability has been utilized. AI is being utilized right now. For example, I had a presentation to the state government of Panchkula. So it was a very quick thing because the chief minister wanted us to present a Nala redevelopment. I'm just getting out of commercial. I'm just giving an example. How do you rejuvenate Barsati Nala? What you do in that case, you do not know what is alignment, how the Nala works, what is the amount of cubic of water, etc., etc., etc. So it is AI that helped us create a presentation which gave an overview of all the concepts. The chief minister was on board on that, and we proceeded with working out, getting the surveys done. So that is just an example. Even for an office building, we were proposing the facade of the office, and it was a large 10 million square foot building. We were ought to present the facade, but we took a step ahead. We generated the interior spaces and said, how does the facade work from the inner side? How do you look from the inner side, and how does the facade look in that way? We used AI to generate the internal layouts, and it was quite efficient. We actually are following the same layout today. So yes, it is helping us immensely. The problem is with the massive development day by day, like ChatGPT 5 came now. Everybody said it's a disaster, but we feel the research quality has improved a lot.
Right.
So
it's another discussion, obviously, and Rashmi, take note. I mean, AI has to be a major discussion in coming times. Just swinging back to the main topic. Praveen, I'd like to ask you, if you wore the hat of a project manager, which you are, or a facility manager, or if you looked at things from the non-creative side, from the ownership side of the project. What is the impact that tight schedules has on material procurement, on labor costs, on quality control? How does one cope with all these things? How do you deal with all these things in a manner that's logical?
I think to cope up with the same, the first part is planning. I mean, on any of the project. No planning means absolutely no control. And actually, I have seen in last more than 32 years, that project always fails at the beginning. It never fails at the end. So project always fails in the beginning only. So like when it comes to the material part, I mean the material procurement, it will have an impact because the the cost will going to get increased because probably you need to air freight it, that material to get unloaded. There will be scarcity of time. Time challenges will be there. We can't do the competitive bidding there. There will be a limited availability of the material.
So just a very sensible lot of SOPs in place that, make sure you tick off all the long leads and the procurements and all. That's really what you're trying to say.
Correct. So we need to lock all the long lead items well in advance for the same. And when it comes to the labor part also, of course, there will be a extended hours for which laborers will be working and even the supervisory staff that still can be managed. But this overtime will often, lead to fatigue and that error also. So that gets into that rework. So how we can probably manage is to probably cultivate that relationship with that vendor and ask him to provide the premium service, considering this as an exceptional project wherein these constraints are there.
And just to add on to your point, sorry to interrupt if I did.
No, that's good.
The thing what I felt since quite a project we have done is as architects, we are very passionate, of course, you should agree. And I feel I'm passionate for any project made with a small office space and all. We have to get involved with the role what the PMC does. Now, project management consultant client hires at their end, we feel that's a different team we are working with. Any project that's going to get successful would be successful by the way it is managed. Project has to be managed well, hence procurement, labor, everything is sorted. So as architects, we are always tight-lipped about how the project management company is helping us. We are always at the cross net that these guys are the one where the project is being delayed, but we'll have to take certain responsibilities. Maybe we are not paid enough for that, but for the passion of how we work, if we want to make a change, we'll have to do that.
So here, actually, I wanted to add, it's a good point you mentioned. So ultimately, everything boils down to people. I mean, we need to have a right attitude people who can take the ownership. The mindset should be cultivated to a solution-focused approach rather than getting into a problem analysis kind of an approach. And every member should start the project by keeping end in their mind, END, end, that's all. I think that will do that magic. Another thing, probably we can work it out. We did at one of the project also for one of the marquee client, and that was a collaborative incentive program, wherein we defined the KPIs for all the consultants together and told them that let's work together and achieve this particular goal because it's ultimately a common goal for every one of us.
Oh, I love the idea. I just love it. I think it's awesome. Praveen, you should raise that flag and you should run around the whole industry and make that happen. Okay, interest of time, long-term durability. Okay, any challenges faced in ensuring ease of maintenance in tighter budget projects? I mean, do you think that today's cost cutting too often becomes tomorrow's maintenance nightmare? I think anybody wants to talk about that?
Yeah.
Durability.
Yeah. So see, again, as I said, everybody wants to cut the cost. Even architects want to do that. They're going to hire freshers.
Yeah.
They're going to not pay the most experienced person in the office.
Absolutely.
It happens. It's how human greed are. And we architects at the end of the day are things. So developers, anybody even the guy who's making his own house is going to cost cut. Chat pe, at the end, the terracing will not be done. They'll say, I'll do it the next season.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets cheaper. No, you're harming yourself. It's going to get costlier. So end of the day, if you're cutting cost, see, as an architect, you are hiring us to give you the consultancy, how to limit the cost. If we are going over budget, your expectations was not what you wanted in the brief. And many times we come up with a higher cost because of the project timelines. The client did not take a decision on time. It did not come to us. They made a boundary wall, which they did not think about the structure. So that kind of a thing happens. So yes, if you're going to cut the cost to a certain extent, the architect is going to make sure that the durability is same, but there will be some, as we say, jitna pani milaoge,
Yeah.
utna hi.
I think somewhere, we all need to understand that we need to educate at every stage in every way. We need to actually say that shortcuts are a recipe for nightmares. And you don't want to be cutting costs upfront and then adding immense costs for repair, and rear guard action at the end when people are actually occupying the space. So I think somewhere we need to all, educate, be activists for change of mindset and, try and, improve the situation through knowledge, dispensation, right?
Yeah, actually, I also want to add that most of the time we get caught in the value engineering trap. I mean, it's a very common term which is being used, value engineering, and everyone relate this to a capex. I mean, cost reduction is value engineering, whereas sometimes increase in the cost is also a value engineering. So, I mean, probably we need to educate our client that, hey, you can spend, let's say, 10 or 15%, but you will getting a return of close to 50% in the operational cost. I mean, that's how you can reduce that.
I agree with Praveen ji because his office specializes in that, getting the ROI, getting the numbers and shooting us with numbers. How did you increase that? 10 lakhs?
So here's my favorite question, and I'd like anybody in the audience also to answer it. Do you all feel that, if the importance of controlling cost is so much that, architects need to be paid that much more to be able to control costs, because they have to really come up with strategies and methods of achieving the goal without dropping the ball on, on timelines and quality? So anybody who wants to talk? Kshitij, since you asked me so many questions and I shook my head, maybe you could answer. Should we share a mic? Yeah, sorry. And how ironical that an ex-client of mine is answering this. Please.
Yeah.
All
So
leaders.
definitely architects and consultants should be paid extra, subject to they define the parameters of success also and help us gauge and measure those.
As Praveen said, define KPIs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, great. Lovely. Thank you. Quick rapid fire question. There is nothing that we have as a hamper. We'll put all the plants together and give it to the winner. That's the best we can do.
I am not in the room.
Okay.
I'm not here.
Okay. Cost is equal to rate into amount, right? So cost effectiveness through spec lowering or cost effectiveness through quantity lowering? One answer.
Quantity lowering. Quantity lowering.
Yes.
I think spec whatever. I think the value.
The spec.
Yeah.
The spec lowering. Okay.
Quantity lowering. I mean, specs we should not compromise, I guess. I mean, quantity we can still adjust.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to add when I say
Yeah.
spec, I mean lowering in the sense that how you can value engineer the spec of the particular art.
Right. So when it comes to base price cost or installation cost, which one would you tamper with? Let's say there is a certain item of work to be done. There is a base price to the material, but there is a labor cost or an installation cost. Which one, Amit?
So probably I'll look at the installation. I would definitely look at the core of the material. If it's substantive, durable, would go for the material and see how we can save on the fabrication or installation.
All right. My quick take here is I would not save on the installation cost because it is the human being who depends on that money to survive. I would rather go down to Morbi, pick up tiles by the kilo and be smarter in procurement than buy it from a larger company in the thing. So just a good debate. Cost control or time control, which is easier?
Time control.
Why?
Because if I exceed the time, the cost is going to shoot up like every day. It's going to shoot up. We see an example.
Which is easier to control?
Easier? Cost is any day. Easier?
That's the question. Because if a wall has to dry, if a tile has to set, if anything has to be done, it's going to take that amount of time.
You take it in the terms of building. I take it in terms of how you address a design. So that's how it's a different.
Right. So cost effective interior and durable interior are both achievable or not?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Both are achievable, and how?
Low cost, high impact material are available in the market. India is emerging very fast. There are products which are available. We can have engineered wood instead of a hardwood, and lot of things are there. So nitrile instead of EPDM.
Tile instead of stone.
Okay, time's up, but I just have one last question, and Rashmi, you'll allow me this. One last question. Okay, and that is project completion in 90 days or snag-free completion in 90 days. There's a big difference between the two. Which one of the two is more important to a client?
Snag-free.
Snag-free. Okay, so that's what we need to factor in. That's for you. Okay, thank you very much. I think we really enjoyed this. All of them are winners, so they must all get a plant each. Isn't that lovely? Okay, thank you so much. Enjoyed this.
I'm gonna just 2 minutes. I'm gonna quickly call on stage Mr. Satish Kumar, who is the president for sales and marketing at Featherlight, and also along with him, I would love to call on stage Mr. Nirav Kumar, who is the director for sales at strategic business at Comscope, to give our amazing panel members who actually lived up to the last session of the day, kept it alive through all their rapid fires and their quick notes. A small token of appreciation from our please. Mr. and Mr. Nirav Kumar, both of them are here. A quick group photo session. I'm really sorry we couldn't take any questions from the audience, though I know this panel would have really loved to have taken some, but they are around here, hopefully. So each of y'all can probably go out to them. They are here for dinner. They're there for the drinks. So it would be great if y'all could connect with them after this panel too. Finally, I'm gonna quickly call on stage Vibhor Srivastav, who is our managing director, and also Mr. Indrajit Sauji, who from ITP Media, to felicitate. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Satish and Satish, I'd like you to stay on stage, and I would love to call on stage Indrajit Sauji and Vibhor Srivastava from ITP Media to felicitate each of our speakers from our partners side. So I would love to call on stage Mr. Arup Chakrabarti from Havells. I would love to call on stage Mr. Anand Mishra from Dorma Kaba. I would love to call on stage Saurabh Agarwal from Wellspun Flooring, and we have Satish with us here already. Each of the panel member partners who made this platform so successful for us, I would love to call each of them on stage for a small token of appreciation. I'm going to quickly give the mic over to Vibhor after this for a few words to conclude this beautiful evening today. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to each of our partners for this beautiful evening, joining us in midst of the week.
All right. So listen, thank you again. I think a big hand to the incredible team of ITP, Rashmi, Indrajit, Tarun, Priyanka. I think they put to, yeah, let's hear it for them. One last, we're almost at the end of the evening and the bar guy has been very restless more than the audience to open the bar. Okay, so there's a lot to happen. But I think it's been a great, and Vistas, how well you do. He's busy talking to Parag. So Vistas, I was saying 2 cents about you. It's very difficult to hold an audience at this hour and that too in Delhi, right? I mean, hats off to you. Thank you again for a beautiful steering the conversation and making it so interactive and so engaging. And with this, lots of hope in our hearts, we go to Hyderabad. And I think Hyderabad is just waiting for us. Rashmi, my editor, is based out of Hyderabad. She has a lot of clout with the fraternity. She can just call anybody, right, Indrajit? So we're not safe. But day after, we are doing a design debate. We like this hotel a lot. And Parag is nodding and will echo this sentiment because there's something about this hotel, this smart building, the FNV. You must try it out. So we're hosting another event day after. All my architect, designer friends are more than welcome. It's called Design Debate, and Indrajit, it's the 45th edition. Just imagine how God has been kind to us. Yes, it's going to be very interesting, very high profile designers, and my 2 very dear friends are sitting here from Studio AVT, the lovely couple. They've been part of my agent. Can you just stand up for a minute? Wonderful people. Thank you. They have been my agent below the age of 40 in 2014, and what a great practice they're doing. And they're also launching their own brand in the furniture. So that's the kind of journey, and that's the kind of talent which we really unearth in this whole country. That goes to tell you the role of the media is ever evolving, Sudeshna, to find the talents, give them the platform, give them this mic more than me, to tell everybody what a beautiful story you have to tell. So thank you again. It's been incredible. The gentleman from Featherlight has got some very exciting prizes. Lucky draw. I mean, I can be a part of it. So he's made a disclaimer. I will not get it. So thank you again. Don't go. Just wait for it.
Sure. So we have a ergonomic chair as a lucky draw winner. May I request Vinay, please come over on the stage. And let's see who the winner is today evening. Yeah, sure. Please, you can shuffle it.
Last edition in Pune, he said, don't look into it. But I can see you there. Only one is allowed?
Yes, only one lucky draw.
Can you be liberal with Delhi? Because I like them a lot.
Liberal with Delhi is a visit to our showroom. So the lucky draw winner is from Arbain, the Design Workshop, Mr. Manish Gaur. Mr. Manish? Is Mr. Manish around?
Always shout for 3 times.
Yeah, Mr. Manish, if you are around, please join us, or else we need to choose one more winner. Okay. Mr. Manish, are you there? Okay, I think he isn't there. So let's go ahead with the second round. Okay, let's see if this winner is available. Mr. Shret Dikshit from Havels.